People say, if you're breaking, try to stand tall. But what if it was God who allowed the breaking? Not because he is cruel, but because there are parts of you that can only fall apart so they can be reborn. You may not know it, but right now, you're in the midst of a holy breaking, and these are 4 quiet signs that whisper, God hasn't abandoned you. He's just clearing the ground to rebuild from the very beginning. 1. The chair you sat in every day, now gone. The friend you always called, no longer answers. Finances, work, health, slipping through your hands like sand. You begin to think, am I being punished? But remember Joseph, the one thrown into a deep pit, only to one day stand in a palace when all your supports vanish. Maybe God is cutting every tie, so you won't cling to anything but him. 2. You show up at church, but only sit still. You pray, but words don't come. You long to offer something, but all your hands hold are broken pieces. Maybe that's the moment, like the widow with only 2 coins, or the cracked clay jar of Jeremiah, shattered before the crowd. But it's exactly those fragments that become the most honest offering. No more decorations, only a bare, trembling soul, and God calls that holy. 3. You blame yourself for being weak, for not keeping up appearances, for not being strong enough to keep the faith. You think, if I were God, I would leave someone like me too. But Jesus on the cross once cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me? He knows that feeling, not from a distance, but from right in the middle of the pain. God doesn't wait for you to get better before he stays. He steps into the worst version of you to say something simple, not loud or flashy. I'm still here. And that's the 3rd sign. It's not that you've lost your faith. It's that God is touching the deepest part of it. 4. You're tired, not from one specific pain, but from the idea of having to rebuild again. You look at old dreams like a burned down house. The walls have collapsed, the roof is gone, and you don't have the heart to raise it back up. You used to pray like a believer. Now you just breathe like a survivor. You see others singing, worshipping, full of light, and you feel like Noah after the flood. No strength to build another ark, just mud, ash, and silence. You say, God, if starting over means breaking again, can I just stay here? But right then, a tiny green shoot pushes through the ashes. Not glorious, not majestic, just enough to stir something in you. And you understand, God doesn't need you to start over like a hero. He only needs you to take one step, even with trembling hands, even with a shaking heart. Because with him, one trembling step is a covenant. That is the 4th sign. When you don't want to begin again, but still rise, you're not just moving forward, you're being resurrected. God doesn't break you out of vengeance. He takes you apart like a potter dismantling a mold. Because the old shape can't contain the new glory. You are not falling apart. You are being restructured. Like Joseph, sold to become a savior. Like Moses, exiled to become a liberator. Like Job, emptied to truly see God. Not every loss is evil. Not every breaking is a failure. Some things have to shatter so the truth can take root. And if you feel like you're fading away, remember this. A seed also looks dead before it sprouts new life.